Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Love Chat. It's Michelle here with you today, and I want to officially welcome you here today as we talk about becoming the extraordinary, irresistible woman your 2026 love story has been waiting for. So before I begin, I want to just go ahead and see who's here. So if you could just type, "I'm here," in the comments. That way I know that you're with me. I know that you're ready to receive and generate and create what's next for you as we complete. We're getting to the close of 2025 and we start talking about your 2026 love story. Okay, hello, Catherine. Thank you for being here today. Let's see who else. Cynthia, hello, welcome. And Lisa, Mary Jo, thank you, ladies. All right, keep telling me hello in the chat. I want to go ahead and jump in here. So thank you for answering. And I just want you to know that today's session is structured really to help you understand on a deep emotional and energetic level. All those things are so important. Why the results that you desire in love are not created simply by finding the right man. So a lot of people focus, and we've seen this, and a lot of other coaches focus on the man. And what we have found is that focusing on the man is not the way to get to extraordinary love. And we can tell you that we have been able to support thousands of women at this point in being able to attract and create the relationship of their dreams by focusing on something other than the man. So it's not about finding the right man, because you're not going to be out there in search of, you're going to be attracting him. And how you do that is by becoming the version of you that a high quality, high value man knows the kind of woman he's destined to be with, like embodying that energy, which is all about being the irresistible woman. So let's talk about this today. By the end of today's session, you're going to be able to have a clear understanding on identifying what shifts are required internally before the new year even begins, so you can start magnifying that attraction factor. You're also going to understand, what's needed to create that emotional and energetic space for the right relationship with the right partner to come in. And also understand what does it take to embody that woman who matches the relationship you desire, because there's an energy in that vision that you have that you get to embody, so that it's not something you have to think about, but it's something that's there with you. So we're going to go ahead and start off by talking about the first thing is how to create an end of year identity shift. All right. So you cannot bring the same identity into a new year and expect a different result in love, a different result in life, a different result in your finances. There's got to be a new way that you relate to yourself. And that's what I mean by identity. It's something that you become because you relate to yourself in a brand new way. So if you're taking notes, go ahead and write that down. You can't bring in the same identity into a new year and expect a new result. Same identity, same results. New identity, the way you identify with yourself, the way that you perceive yourself, you relate to yourself, new results. All right. So here is something that I would say, just in doing this work for so many years, high achieving women tend to overlook. So you've evolved in your career and you've upgraded your lifestyle, you've elevated your standards. And then there's this component that if that also doesn't elevate, it will keep you outside of the kind of relationship in your mind and in your heart you want, but for some reason you can't draw it in. So what that piece is the emotional piece. Because many of you are still dating from the identity of the woman you were when you were 3 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, or even 3, 5, and 10 years ago. So if you're still dating from that identity, then you're going to keep attracting from that identity. Hello from Nova Scotia. Wow. So good that you're here. All right. So if you are still emotionally, this is so important. If I could have like an exclamation point and put it here, that's my exclamation point. that if you're still emotionally operating from the wounded child or the wounded woman that you were, or the woman that you were in the past relationship, and you're still carrying around that energy from the age of 3, 5, or 10, or from 3, 5, or 10 years ago, you're going to keep repeating the patterns you did when you were in that identity. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to really look into your heart to answer it. Who have you been being in the area of love in 2025? Now, we call Tuesdays Tell the Truth Tuesday. So it doesn't mean you have to be negative, and it doesn't mean you have to be down on yourself, but be honest. Like, maybe you've been being inspired, and maybe you've been being disenchanted. Maybe you've been being intentional, or maybe you've been being avoidant. So go ahead and drop one word in the chat that describes who you've been being in the area of love in 2025. It could be exhausted, or it could be skeptical, impatient, or hopeful, or inspired. What is the way? Go ahead and type one word in the chat that you can say, this is the identity I've been being in when it comes to the area of love in 2025. So I see self-compassionate. I see avoidant. Go ahead and type them in, ladies. Discouraged. Okay. Hello from Texas as well. What's one word that describes who you've been being? Not ready. Thank you for your honesty. I want to receive a few more before I go forward. So it's really important that when you come to the love chats, you come like ready to take some notes and do some heart work here. Anxious or disappointed. Okay. Confused. Thank you, ladies. Inconsistent. All right. So here's the reason why this matters. It's pretty simple. Identity drives behavior. You can write that down as well. Identity drives behavior. And why is that important? Because behaviors drive patterns. Behaviors drive patterns, and then patterns drive how you show up and what you can create in love. So if your identity is inconsistent, then that's what's going to be driving you, being inconsistent. So guess what kind of results you're going to get in your love life? Inconsistent results. If you've been frustrated, guess what kind of results you're going to get? The kinds that are a match for frustrated energy. So if your identity says, I'm strong, but I don't trust. I don't trust in love. I don't trust that I can actually attract the kind of love that I really desire in my heart. You are going to attract relationships and men who reinforce that identity and that belief. If your identity is, you know what, I'm independent, I don't need anybody, then guess what? You're going to attract men who are attracted to the energy of somebody who doesn't need anybody. What kind of men are those? Men who aren't really there. The men who want to provide, and the ones who want to be your champion are not going to be attracted to somebody who doesn't need them. Now, I'm going to change it. I don't need anyone either, but I want a strong man like my husband next to me. I want to know that when things get hard, I can lean back and be held. I can lean forward and be held. I can lean to the side and there's somebody there. I want that. But if I'm out in the world like I used to be, which is I don't need anybody, then guess what? People were not showing up, or the ones who are showing up were not the ones who are going to have my back. Okay. Now, if your identity says love hasn't worked, it's too late for me, it's too hard, it's too frustrating, it's too confusing, it's too disappointing, maybe it's just too late for me, then you're going to attract confusion, frustration, disappointment, mixed signals, situationships. How many of you are getting what I'm talking about here? The energy that you are in is the energy that you're going to attract. And that's coming from how you identify with yourself. You're always we say that we're going to have a great event in January. We're going to go deeper into this, but you're always attracting and manifesting what's an energetic and magnetic match for how you relate to yourself, like who you are for yourself and what you think and believe about yourself and others. Look at your world. It's based on what you believe. So if your identity is anything that disempowers you, you're going to attract that which disempowers you. So think about your identity this way. It's an energetic invitation you send out into the world about what you're calling in. And here's something really important to let in as well. Your 2026 love story is going to require a new identity. Now, if the voice in your head said, I have to change who I am, I didn't say that. It's how you identify with yourself based on your fears, your beliefs, the stories you tell yourself, the past that's unresolved for you. So your love story requires you to create a new identity, not new resolutions, not get on a different app, not create, I'm going to break up with this one and go with this one, because you could change the partner, but the pattern goes with you. It really is about creating yourself newly. So it's going to require a shift. So if you know that there's a shift needed based on what you shared in the chat, that your identity you've been identifying with, go ahead and type shift in the chat so you can start generating a different type of energy. If you're willing to shift, that is the first place to go. If you're just willing to be right about this is the way it is for me, then you're going to get more of the same. So if you recognize through self-awareness and acknowledgement that there's a shift that you get to start creating, then type shift in the chat so I know that you're with me, that you're listening. All right. So several of you are seeing that. Awesome. And this is about being an empowered woman who is self-aware, which requires emotional intelligence to identify the things that are in your way. This is not about you. We're not about beating ourselves up. There's no juice in that lemon. So stop squeezing it. Stop beating yourself up. That might be the new identity, is to shift out of the identity of beating yourself up and victimizing yourself and making yourself wrong into someone who empowers, loves, and supports herself emotionally. So what we're doing in today's session is we're starting to reset that identity so that you don't walk into the new year as the same identity, expecting something different to show up. So that's the first thing, is recognizing that to create a new result, there's got to be a shift in the identity. All right. Now, second thing that I want to share with you today is you are not able to receive real love if your emotional space is already occupied by almost love, almost good, almost enough. Or if it's occupied by the ex, if it's occupied by the pain of the past. You won't be able to receive new love if your emotional space is already occupied with something other than the space for your new vision and your new identity. Now, this is a major pattern that we see in the women that we work with and who are able to transform it, because we attract a lot of highly driven, high achieving, highly successful women. And because if you fall in that category, you know how to function, you know how to keep things going, you know how to stay busy, you know how to stay distracted from looking at things that could take away your attention from what you're really committed to. Now, one of the things you can stay busy doing is staying busy emotionally, but not in a way that elevates you, but in a way that deflates you. So I want you to think about, where have you been filling space with placeholders that don't move you forward and don't move you toward your love vision? So for example, some of the placeholders would be texting with someone that this guy has no intention. He's just, look, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, beautiful. But if hey, beautiful is the only thing this person is offering, 2 weeks into the chat exchange, why are your energy now and your attention are going there to something that's not going anywhere. And so it really does take up emotional space. Or hanging on to the ex, or the ex who keeps texting and you haven't told them, listen, not interested. I wish you the best. I'm moving on. You might be having an emotional placeholder with a man that you know is not ready, and you're dating his potential, waiting for him to step up, or you're waiting for him to figure it out, or you're waiting for him to discover that you're the woman of his dreams. That is an emotional placeholder. That is filling up emotional space that could be reserved for the right person with the right intentions and the commitment that you're looking for. So you might have an emotional placeholder where you keep this fantasy relationship going on in your head with your ex or the guy that you like who's not paying attention to you. That's taking up emotional space. Or you're so busy with work that your placeholder is work, and then you're so exhausted at the end of the day that even thinking about going out on a date, you'd rather just stay home and have a glass of wine and Netflix and chill. And then there's another emotional placeholder where you are so super independent that you're doing everything that, again, there's no room for support. There's no room for somebody to come in and step in and support you. You've got it all handled, yet you're completely wasted emotionally and energetically at the end of the day. So none of these placeholders are relationships, and they're certainly not the relationships that I sense you really want to experience. They become distractions. The guy who's texting good morning, the ex who's every once in a while sends you a message and you get that feeling of, oh, somebody's paying attention, or work, so that you don't feel the void. Whatever that is, these are all distractions. And what they do is they keep you emotionally occupied enough that you avoid confronting and doing the deeper work that's required to have the relationship that you want. And what that does when you have that placeholder and that distraction that keeps you from going deeper into that emotional work that you get to do, then there's not enough connection with self and with your vision to create the kind of love that you want. It disrupts. It cuts it off. And here's the part that a lot of women never hear. Love requires space in your life, in your heart, in your mind. Emotional space, energetic space, mental space. So if your life is so full with distraction, there's no space for aligned love. So if you are in any way, shape, or form entertaining men who aren't interested in, aren't committed to the kind of love vision that you want, let them go. Because it's robbing you of the energy, the attention, and the intention of actually calling in the love that you want. There really is no runway for the man who wants what you want when it's being blocked by some distraction. And if your heart is so protected, even if it's with good intentions, because you don't want to be hurt again, or you want to help this person, or you want to be there for everybody else, then love doesn't have space to land in your life. It's really important that you get this. Love requires space. So now ask yourself, what's one thing that you know you need to release before the end of this year to be able to call in the love you want to experience, even before the year ends, but for sure in 2026? What's one thing you know you need to release? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Go ahead and type it in the chat. This is such important heart work. This is the kind of work that we do with our clients. Obviously, we have more time than 20, 25 minutes, but it's that deep introspection. We also do it. We're going to be doing some of this work at an event we're having coming up soon. But this is so important. And if you're guided by somebody who's not only been able to achieve it, but has been able to support so many thousands of women in being able to achieve it, then can you see you're creating momentum there? So go ahead and type in the chat. Nobody's typing. So you're not going to let go of anything. So next year is going to look like this year. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. Let go of previous relationships. Let go of suspicion. Let go of my fantasy relationship from the past. Okay. What else? Come on. Possibly a new man that I met, let him go. Well, maybe you notice that this is not aligned and you want to let that go. Emotional exhaustion, letting that go. Letting go of the last ick from my ex. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Have my lawyer send my divorce paperwork to be filled so it can finally be completed. That is very courageous, Kristen. Good for you. Good for you. Now, knowing that you need to let it go and actually taking the action are going to be two separate things, but both are very important. And both are very important. Release my last relationship. Release beating myself up. That would be awesome, Patrice. Great. All right. So what you release determines what you receive. Write that down. What I release determines what I receive. So if what you want to receive in 2026 is a love story that looks completely different than what you've experienced in the past, this is exactly where that shift begins. All right. Let go of working too much and being distracted by the wrong people. Let go of control, space to allow others to step in to help me, to surprise me with their gifts of service. Beautiful. An unresolved issue from the past, and I need to have that conversation. Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for really doing this work. It's such important. Can you already feel the space opening up? Now, you can acknowledge that you need to release it, and then it's about having the courage to do that. And then once you've made that space, once you've shifted the identity and you've made that space, now the next thing is possible. So the relationship you want is going to recognize the woman you're becoming when you take these steps. So that relationship you want will recognize you when you become the woman that's a match for it. Not the woman you've been or the one you're outgrowing, but the one that's a match for it. And this is such amazing work. Our clients, they experience this shedding and becoming the woman that's a match for the relationship of their dreams. So this is the part where you embody your new identity. So it's like I was saying just a few minutes ago, it's not enough to think about what you want to do. It's not enough to know that there's a shift that's required in your identity or know that there's something to release. It's about following through with it. And when you follow through with it, you become aligned with that woman that can attract the kind of relationship that you desire. Because if what you desire is someone who follows through, you get to be a woman who follows through. If what you desire is someone who respects and honors you, you get to respect and honor yourself. If what you want is someone who speaks to you in words of love and adoration, then you get to speak to yourself with love and adoration. All right? So imagine yourself a year from now. Imagine it's December 2026. And you are in the relationship you deeply desire. Notice how a year from now, how do you show up? How do you communicate? How does the woman in that vision love and receive love? And who did she become that had her be able to attract this relationship with this amazing man? So just let that sit there in your heart. How do you look? How do you speak? How do you walk? How do you talk? How do you love? How do you receive? Who did she, this new you in 2026, become? So type one word in the chat that describes that woman that's going to call in your 2026 love story. What's a word? Go ahead and type it in the chat. I know it takes a few seconds for you all to hear what I'm saying. So complete, open, alluring, relaxed. She's confident in every way. She's happy, confident, mindful. Lots of confidence. Okay, so this is the woman you get to be. This is the woman your 2026 love story is waiting for. Not a woman who guards herself or who's so exhausted and tired and keeps replaying the old story of her old heartbreak, either by talking about it or reliving it. And not the woman who keeps saying maybe next year, maybe 3 months from now, maybe 6 months from now. Your job and your responsibility is to step into her. Step into her daily, consistently, do it intentionally and on purpose. Because when your identity elevates, so does your ability to attract, to be alluring, to be adored. And so does the quality of the men and the quality of the relationships that you attract. And this is where real transformation begins. So we have a special offer that we offered for Black Friday, and we're extending it today. And some of you, I saw your names already stepped into it. So it's our Alluring, Aligned, and Adored Accelerator. And what you'll get when you grab this Alluring, Aligned, and Adored Accelerator is you're going to get a 31-day guided experience. So 30 days from now, you're going to have that shift that you're talking about. You're already going to be in the process of shifting, of releasing, of becoming. So these daily journal prompts, there's lessons in there, and there's feminine embodiment practices that design you to help. Well, they're designed to allow you to shift into that woman who can attract emotionally available and devoted love to herself. You're going to get some meditations in there that are going to allow you to attract the greatest love you've ever known and embody being irresistible love. And you're going to get weekly audio coaching from Gladys and myself, just some short momentum driving teachings that are going to allow you to stay grounded, to stay focused, to stay on purpose and intentional and committed to the love that you desire. And you'll also get some tools that are going to support you. So we're going to drop the link in the chat, and you get to take advantage of this opportunity. This is about taking action that actually makes a difference. So this is the difference between thinking about something and actually taking aligned action. And that's what this Alluring, Aligned, and Adored Accelerator course is going to do for you. All right, so go ahead and click on the link, specialoffer.heartsdesireinternational.com. I think we dropped it in the chat. Let me just make sure. Yes, we did. Okay, so click on that link and get your accelerator. I love this. The name of this course, Alluring, Aligned, and Adored. Just think about what we talked about. All of that is encompassed there. Let it give you the head start that you want, that you need, that you deserve to be able to attract the love that your heart desires. So as I close out today's love chat, I just want to leave you with that step. Because everything we covered today, the identity shift, the emotional clearing, the embodiment work, requires structure, requires consistency. And if you want this transformation to hold, you get to move beyond awareness, beyond insight, beyond even good intentions, because none of that is going to get you there. It's about implementation. And that's why I'm saying your next step is to grab your Alluring, Aligned, and Adored 31-day accelerator, so that you can release the patterns that are holding you back, and have held you back in 2025 and before, and creates emotional, energetic space for that aligned partner to build some habits and mindset that are going to get you to that next level of self, that new identity, so that the woman that you become and your love story are a match, and have some coaching and support in doing that. All right. This isn't a passive thing. This is training designed to rewire how you show up for yourself and how you show up for love. So if you're committed to not repeating another year of the same patterns, then your 2026 love story begins now. And if you're ready to become that woman who is easy to love, easy to be with, and easy to align in real partnership with, then this is your next clear step. All right, so go ahead and click on that link. Yes. Hi, Waleska. Yes, this is our Black Friday special. We're bringing it back for today. So it's another course that you can take, but it's 31 days. It's different than the year-long program in that this is, and even the women in the year-long program are, thank you for asking the question, are buying it because it's 31 days of accountability, of structure, of support, of getting that mindset in the right set, in the heart set for attracting love. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for being here for today's love chat. I can't wait to hear how you continue to open up the space for love, shifting that identity, and really making yourself available to align with the love that your heart desires. We'll be back here next Tuesday for Love Chat with the Love Twins. And until our hearts meet again, always remember that you are loved. Goodbye for now.